Part 5, The Rat Trap. We have seen in the previous video that how the Iron Master he came himself to inspect the work going on in his mill, and he found there his own comrade. He just could not believe that how his friend had come to such a downhill, and he then invites him at his place. He calls him that they can have a Christmas together. But the stranger said no and again no, and the Iron Master saw that he must give in. And the stranger did not agree to go to his house, and Iron Master thought that he must give in. It looks as though a Captain Von Stale preferred to stay with you tonight, Sojourn Storm, he said to the master blacksmith, and turned on his heel. And then he turned towards his blacksmith and said, okay, perhaps he wants us to stay with you. But he laughed to himself as he went away, and the blacksmith, who knew him, understood very well that he had not said his last word. And the blacksmith, he understood. He had not said his last word means there is still some scope, there is still some hope as he is going. It was not more than half an hour before they heard the sound of carriage wheels outside the forge, and a new guest came in. But this time it was not the ironmaster. He had sent his daughter, apparently hoping that she should have better powers of persuasion than he himself. And it was not half an hour, but then now second time his daughter came, and apparently clearly hoping that she has a better powers of persuasion means act of convincing कि शायद ये उनके फ्रेंड को ज़्यादा अच्छे से कन्विंस कर पाए और अपने घर ले आए. She entered, followed by a valet. A valet is a personal attendant, carrying on his arm a big fur coat. She was not at all pretty, but seemed very modest and very shy. In the forge, everything was just as it had been earlier in the evening. The master blacksmith and his apprentice, that is the helper, still sat on their bench, and iron and the charcoal still glowed in the furnace. They were still shining in the furnace. The stranger had, the stranger, the peddler, he had stretched himself out on the floor and lay with a piece of big iron under his head, and his hat pulled down over his eyes. And the peddler, he was lying stretched, and he had kept a big iron piece under his head and his hat on his eyes. As soon as the young girl caught sight of him, she went up and lifted his hat. The man was evidently used to sleeping with one eye open. He jumped up abruptly. Abruptly means suddenly, and seemed to be quite frightened. My name is Edla Wilminson, said the young girl. My father came home and said that he wanted to sleep there, here in the forge tonight. And then I asked permission. Uh, then I asked permission to come and bring you home to us. I'm sorry, Captain, that you are having such a hard time. And then she explained that her father, she had came to know about him from his father, and then she said that she has taken permission and she wants him to go to their house. She looked at him compassionately. She looked at him compassionately means with merciful eyes, very lovingly, with her heavy eyes. And then she noticed that the man was afraid. And she at once noticed that the man is afraid. Either he has stolen something or else he has escaped from jail. उसने दो आइडियाज लगा लिए कि either he has escaped from the jail or he has stolen something. She thought and added quickly, you may be sure, Captain, that you will be allowed to leave us just as freely as you came. And then she tells that you will be allowed to leave as freely as you have come. Only please stay with us over Christmas Eve. And then she requests, she at once understood that he doesn't want to go because he wants to be free. And then she says that he can only stay with them for Christmas. She said this in such a friendly manner that the rat trap peddler must have felt confidence in her. It would never have occurred to me that you would bother with me yourself, miss, he said. I will come at once. And then, as a gentleman, this peddler, he had accepted the invitation, and he said that it had never occurred to him that that she would be bothered with him. He accepted the fur coat, and the valet handed him um with a deep bow, threw it over his rags, and then he wore that coat over his torn clothes and followed the young lady out to the carriage without granting the astonished blacksmith so much as a glance. And he did not even bother to see to put a glance at the surprised blacksmith. उसने blacksmith की side एक minute भी नहीं देखा. And he went, and blacksmith was naturally very surprised what is happening. But while he was riding up to the manor house, he had evil forebodings. Evil foreboding means very bad predictions. He did not like it. Why the devil did I take that fellow's money? He thought. Now I'm sitting in the trap and will never get out of it. And again he was thinking this thing only. Why did he take that money? He had been caught up in the trap, he had caught up with the bait, and now he will never come out of this rat trap. The next day was Christmas Eve, and when the Iron Master came out into the dining room for breakfast, he probably thought with satisfaction of his old regimental comrade whom he had run across so unexpectedly. And now it was Christmas Eve the next day, and Iron Master, when he came out in the morning, he was very happy, very satisfied. Now that how he had come across, how he met unexpectedly with his comrade, with his friend. First of all, we must see to it that he gets a little flesh on his bones, he said to his sister. A little flesh on his bones means he get a good health, who was busy at the table. And then we must see that he gets something else to do than to run around the country selling rat traps. And then he tells his daughter that then they will provide him some work, that they will see that he does something else except selling the rat traps. It is queer that things have gone downhill with him as badly as that, said the daughter. And then the daughter said that it is very strange that the things have got so downhill. Downhill means so worse with him that he's doing such a work. Last night, I did not think there was anything about him to show that he had once been an educated man. And the girl says she at once realized. She said that the last night she did not even saw anything which in him that could show that he was once been educated. You must have patience, my little girl, said the father. As soon as he gets clean and dressed up, you will see something different. Last night he was naturally embarrassed. He was feeling ashamed. The tramp manners will fall away from him with the tramp clothes. And the father had convinced her that these tramp manners, that the vagabond manners which he has got, they will leave him. They will also go once he discard those tramp clothes, the clothes he's wearing. Okay, this will do in this video.